Did you guys ever used to go to a Rock at all in Papio or anything like that, or is that?
I used to book the Rock.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
Hey, I was like their lead booking on that one.
Cool, cool. Yeah, the guys I'm talking about were in Humanoid Typhoon and the
I
Lucky Losers.
Yeah, I know them. I was in a band called Rest Assured back in those days.
Yeah.
We definitely crossed paths for sure.
I remember once lightning struck the building and it went out when they were playing, and they're like, "Okay, God will stop." It was like the last song.
So I'm Kyle from Whitmore, guitar player.
I'm Rob. I'm the drummer from Whitmore.
I'm John. I'm the drummer from Scapegoat.
I'm Joshua. I'm the front man of Scapegoat.
Sweet.
Nice. So fill us in on some of your musical influences and who you're listening to these days.
We both kind of like Clutch a lot, so we're kind of a bit stonery rock, but we also like Hendrix, Black Sabbath, and then current stuff I've been listening to is Baroness, but I fell in love with them once I saw them with Mastodon like back in '09. So they put out a couple of new songs, they're putting out a new album, so I've been really digging the preview songs.
And right now I'm listening to Grammatic, which is totally not near the genre we play. But I listen to a lot of other stuff, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, more of the older stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. I'd say as far as what I'm listening to right now, it'd be Rob's probably gonna say a lot of the same bands, but As Lay Dying's like one of my all-time influences. That's kind of what got me started in playing music. August Burns Red, like Moths to Flames. Currents is fun. Love them a lot. And then I've been getting heavy into Boundaries lately too. So a lot of like that metalcore.
Uh-huh.
Especially I'm one of those people that listens to like the old stuff on repeat to the point where I am probably sick in the head and can't start new things. But we pull a lot from like that early 2000s metalcore, hardcore type vibe.
Yeah.
Like musically it's a little more metalcore, but like vocally it's very much hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was just talking to some of my neighbors the other day and showing them old like 2002 2003 Norma Jean, which is what really got me into some of the hardcore scene.
Yeah.
So, and then lately I've been listening to basically all of that, and been listening to a lot of Emancipator lately.
Which sounds brutal, but it's like EDM, like club type music.
One of my male friends has gotten into DJing, and he's a drummer. And so instead of playing the loud drums, he just put the headphones on and go late into the night. And so he'll just come over, bring us speakers, and we'll just be sitting there just jamming tunes and stuff. And he's working on doing different tricks, and he's like, "Oh my God, it's way easier because because he'll be sitting there drinking something. He's like, oh shoot, I got to match up the next song," and it's just kind of funny.
That's too much going on for me.
It's funny. I did a clinic thing for drumming, and the head guy, it was just like an interview, kind of like impromptu like this, if she wanted to sign up for classes. And he said our timing was pretty good. So I'm just glad, because sometimes you see bands or they're playing the same time but not together. So we kind of are always about that groove kind of.
Yeah, we try to find a niche. Thankfully we've done it enough times now where we can find that groove pretty quickly, because we don't play to like a click or anything. So we just try to go with the flow, because sometimes the set, you just got to burn a set and get through it. And sometimes you have a little more time, you need to stretch it, but we just like that flexibility on stage.
Yeah.
I guess with the next question, what is the best show that you've ever played as a Scapegoat, and what made it special?
I think probably that waiting room show, because we sounded the best we'd ever played, but also our first new one with the new bass player, because we've gone through a few bass players, but this new guy we've been playing for with a while, and the waiting room show was before he was in it, but then he joined maybe like 2 months after that, and so our practice with him kind of paid off.
I'm gonna have to agree with John, the waiting room, because the professional quality of the venue, you can't beat that. I mean, you guys can practice all day long, but if you don't have a good electronic system or a good person manning that system, then you're gonna have problems just because you can't hear this or that, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And waiting room's real good about that. They kill the sound every single time. Like
Yeah.
some of the best sound that we've ever worked with.
We played one song and we just knew it was going to be all right. We played just our first song we always played, and we played it once and then set everything down and just chilled until we had to play.
That's the best feeling for sure. When you get a good quality sound check, and you're just like, I just got to show up and I'm here. So let's do this thing. That kind of leads me into the next question here is, have you ever had equipment fail on stage? And that this can be with EscapeGoat or any other musical ventures you've had. And if that has happened to you, how'd you manage that?
I'm going to go back in the time machine back to high school when I was a freshman. Me and Josh were in marching band. This was before Josh was in high school as a freshman. I was going to hold cymbals for the marching band. I was going to do that. And I stepped around a flag and to hold the cymbals, but then the teacher moved me back and I stepped backwards and got a concussion and hit the AstroTurf. So I fell backwards. And my mom caught it on tape, but the whole other time, all the woodwinds tripped over on the field at the same exact time. So you hear, oh, and they're thinking, oh, wait. And my mom looks over and she's like, oh, a bunch of the whole woodwinds, because they had the whole front line on the field and someone tripped over their covers at the same exact time.
Oh, no. Kind of built you still hang.
Well, the funny thing is, this was only a home football game, so this was just practice. But then they went and did a UNO international or invitational, which is just like an exhibition show. And the freshmen went and watched, and they had cymbal stands setting up. And the wind blew one over, and I said, "Hey, look, there's me."
That's great. That's an awesome story.
Josh has one example of that happened on stage.
Oh yeah, it was at the best venue that we played at. The best show had the most issues I had with an electronics device. It just bumped. It like must have just tapped one of the knobs on my amp, and it switched the whole channel line. So instead of like playing a regular like distorted guitar sound, it went straight to this channel I called ball dropper. Because it's got like one of those harmonic changers, and it makes it sound like 2 octaves lower than it was.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, so it was really weird, and we played the whole song like that. It
The
was
last song though, I think though, didn't you also have a pickup go out at another show too?
Oh no! Oh yeah, when we did Battle of the Bands at Therapy, I also had the guitar that I cherish a lot is Ibanez semi-hollow body. So like the output jack, you know, they're notorious for getting loose, and the wires started shorting out.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Thankfully, like that happened, but at one of our most recent shows, I have ADHD, and it has its benefits. It has its drawbacks for sure. One of them being, I thought I had all my gear loaded into the venue. We were playing out at 1867 to open up for Earth Groans, and we're getting on stage, and I realized I don't have my guitar pedal, and I could go straight through my amp, but I'd have no tuner, and that obviously is an issue. So I'm like, Rob, where'd you park? Because he parked a couple blocks down in downtown Lincoln, and I just start running. And I am heavy set. I don't run for anything. And I was running for my life in downtown Lincoln, trying to find his car. I didn't park with him, so I didn't know exactly where it was. Eventually found it, and I had passed this patch of rough-looking people, but they were looking at me, and they're like, "If that guy's running, I think we should be running." And they're like looking around and worried. And I'm in a tank top, and I'm sweating like crazy. It's hot out, and thankfully I found the pedal. I run back to the venue. I get all my stuff plugged back in, and the sound guy, he just grabs me by the shoulder. He goes, "You got 7 minutes." I was like, "I need 3. This is perfect. Thank you." And so it worked out well, but it was a close call. I almost shit my pants.
Okay. It's I got a couple stories. One time my friend in high school, who's our mutual friend, they just, I can't remember if it was talent show or Battle of the Bands, but he always would get nervous playing that because he's a kid. So they played like Rain and Blood, and he hit his hand on a cymbal and was bleeding while playing Rain and Blood.
Okay, that's dope though.
I know. Yeah. Also, another friend of ours that plays in bands. I don't think he played, but he was drunk and Lincoln and jumped on a table and broke his leg.
Oh God,
man.
that's not good.
This was like almost like 20 years ago.
So when we play, I tend to play pretty hard, and I've knocked my knuckles times, and just completely split them open. So like my snare head is occasionally splattered in blood, and
yeah,
looks like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Yeah, it's pretty rad being an art major and everything. And
yeah.
This kind of dovetails into the next question too. I don't know if you guys have any other good stories about your music playing career so far. It can be along the same lines of what we've been talking about, or if there's like somebody you never thought you'd meet, you cross paths with, or anything like that.
Stories really that interesting so far, besides the ones I already said.
Well, didn't you play a birthday party in your old band or something too?
Yeah. When I had my first band in Fort Worth, Texas, Sarcasm, we were playing for this little kid's birthday party. I guess I do have a couple stories, and the kid wanted us to play, and he's like 8 years old, and it's funny because we use profanity, and we got some pretty like not so child friendly music. And then after we got done playing the gig, this old man who had like several strokes, he could barely walk, couldn't even talk. He gave me one of his guitars. That was probably the coolest story ever.
That's pretty awesome.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
I could imagine offending some Texans down there with that type of music at an 8-year-old's birthday party, but that's pretty rad that he wanted you guys out there and the parents let it happen.
Yeah, they're actually friends of the drummer I had back there. Yeah.
Cool.
And this other instance, we played at an open mic night at like a local music shop down there, and they wanted us to keep it PG. And I was like, okay, all right. I really don't say any bad words except for this one song, so we'll just remember that one song. And then we played the song, and I got into the song and completely forgot about. And one of the lines was like, "Your mind's mental masturbation," and I was like in the middle, masturbate. Ah, that was pretty funny.
Oops, that would be so hard to self-edit in the moment, because you got to worry about so many other things simultaneously. The last thing that I would be, I'd have to say. But that's why I don't have a microphone on stage, so we're good to go.
I got a crazy story, but it's about being a concert goer. Okay, me and my buddy went to go see The Sword when they're at the waiting room. It was awesome. A dude kept on spilling his beer all over me and him. I took the beer from him because it was empty. He started yelling at me. I handed it back. He threw it. It hits the lead singer. He stops and says, "Who threw that?" We all point at him because I knew it was empty because I'm like, he's just going to keep on splashing. This was the empty beer. And he pissed. He spilled his own beer. And I'm like, oh, my God. I remember one show at a show in 2019 at the Lookout. I got knocked out of my shoes, but it was by a drunk guy on accident. So,
yeah, that's happened. I got the pleasure of playing with Gideon and For the Fallen Dreams earlier this year, and For the Fallen Dreams is one of my all-time favorite bands. And I have like contact lenses, and if they pop out, I'm screwed. Like I'm legally blind without them, and so I try to be really careful about like the physicality of what I'm doing off the stage. On the stage, I'm in my own little bubble, so I can kind of get around and it's fine.
Yeah.
But, they played one of my favorite songs, Brothers in Arms, and next thing I knew, I was in the middle of that pit just going nuts. And I like turn around, and this dude just like, he didn't see me and I didn't see him, and we just collided, and I got knocked on my ass. Oof. And 6 people were right there to yank me back up, and I didn't lose my contacts or anything, which was great. But I was like, yeah, that's one, that's why I do that, but two, that's why I don't do that at the same time. So it was a for sure.
Once at West Fair, I drove in my wagon with my friends. I got my glasses knocked off and then knocked in the pit and stepped on my own glasses. I let my friend drove my car back home, so I just had to find him in the parking lot. And it was hard finding him without glasses in the dark, but we just kind of all lead each other to there. But also, crazy interesting, you may not know about me, I actually have a fake eye. I had cancer when I was 1, so like my left eye is a fake one. So I've been playing drums since I was 10. So I learned to play drums and all that stuff, even with one eye. And so
sick. Can you pop it out?
I don't like really doing it because, it's dusty and dirty and stuff.
Oh.
And
I got an instance where it was actually our last show at the Down Under. We were playing, and it was the last song. It was right before the guitar solo, and I threw my head back and my glasses just fell off. And I'm so blind I can't even wear contacts. So I look for my glasses at the same time.
a guy who's an artist that has no legs and has prosthesis came and got them for you.
Yeah, Caleb. Yeah, shout out to Ohm Globes of Omaha. They make some pretty cool globes, like fidget globes out of copper. He spirals them.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
He also has some dope shirts too.
I think I have one right here. He gave us to us free. It's a little gem inside a copper thing, and you just kind of shake it and it rattles and makes noise.
Cool.
That's
Usually
awesome.
come in sets of 2, so you'll have 2 balls in your hand.
Yes.
Rob's not used to that. He's only got 1 ball.
Nice to know. Very important. Very important information.
A lot of what you guys have said is again led us into this next question, which is what makes a good crowd to play to?
Attention.
Yeah. I remember I was worried at our last open mic because there was just a table right next to us being drunk as hell. And then one time we played, was it Halloween open mic? And there was this whole group of people there that were trashing all the comedians in front of us. But yet they fucking loved us. And they started sitting in front of the stage and dancing. They're pretending to play drums. And they're like, oh my God, you guys are so awesome. And they were like the unruly people in the bar and they were loving us. And she was like, am I too old? Do you think I could learn to play drums like you? And I was like, oh my God.
Oh, man.
That's great. That's a great story.
No. We also have this one guy who's always there, but he goes drunkily and dances to every single band ever, and he's just in his own little world, and it's funny to see him. So he just goes crazy. If you look up videos of the Down Under, you might just see him in the front wandering around.
Sure.
All right.
There's a guy that floats around to shows. It might even be the same guy. I don't know his name or anything, but our very first show was down at Reverb, and this was 2021, I think it was. And I had some friends come down and see us, and a buddy of mine, he had a ticket for him and his wife. His wife had to work, so he had an extra ticket. And this guy's rolling around outside. He's like, oh man, I'd love to go, but I don't have money for the ticket. And he's like, here you go. I got a free one. He's like, really? No, I'll buy you a beer on the inside or whatever. And this guy ends up at the very front of the stage, and he seems like he's mouthing all the words, like singing along to all the songs, but we don't even have a demo recorded yet. There's no way like anyone would know any of our music, and he was just having the time of his life, just running around back and forth, like getting in my face, getting in my bass player's face, and just like jamming out. And so we get done, I'm like, who was that guy with? Like, I didn't find out until afterwards. My friend's like, I just gave him a ticket. Like he wasn't even planning on coming, so it was just like the most random thing. So this is the last question here. What are you guys looking forward to most playing the Reverb show here on September 8th?
Probably getting having a bigger crowd with a good sound system, because it was fun playing the waiting room, but it'd be nice to have a bigger crowd and that kind of thing. Like how big are the shows normally? Is it kind of just?
It depends on the bands. We'll probably be expecting around a couple hundred people, hopefully.
That's cool.
Looks much more full at Reverb because it's like a wide shotgun style room. it's built really well for this type of show, and the area is so good at supporting local art.
No matter how big the crowd or small crowd, we can at least win them over a little bit. And so we always at least get people into us no matter the crowd. So that's why I'm excited about the Mel show, because like people who don't listen to Mel at our gigs say you guys are metal, and he says we're kind of more hard rock, and so we might be able to gain more fans that will be into us like, oh, I like bands like Clutch and Mastodon and kind of those, so they'll be able to, because we have like cool shirts and stuff, and because this shirt I'm wearing right now, Josh actually drew it, so
Nice. Good plug.
That shirt is an older design, so we only have sparse numbers of those.
Yeah.
The shirt that we currently got now is white. It's reversed coloration.
Yeah. So it's black logo with white with red letters, kind of.
Yes, but it's above. It's above the horns rather than below.
Yeah.
Cool. That sounds dope.
Got anything to add to that, Josh? That you hoping for the show?
Hope it goes all right. I hope it's not bad.
Yeah, hope not either. That's the goal for sure. Good vibes.
Yeah.
So we'll do what we can on our end, and as long as you guys show up, hopefully that's all we need. So we're probably gonna wrap up here so we can get ready for Double Down next. But we appreciate your guys' time.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
This has been another episode of Whitmore You Know. Don't forget to check out EscapeGoat, Double Down, and Rages My Rapper playing with Whitmore over at Reverb Lounge September 8th. Can't wait to see you there.